So welcome to the 29th annual exhibit of hydrogen fuel cell technology. We've been here for quite some time discussing all the innovations. We're going to get right down to very important information. Have you ever thought about how we're going to decarbonize the industry of steel or industry at scale? The industries are huge producers of carbon, and this is a monstrous issue to be addressed, and it's going to be addressed by Dr. Paschalis Grammenoudis, who's head of gas technology and utilization at DVGW, and he's going to be talking about hydrogen pipeline transport, decarbonizing the industry at scale. Please welcome with me Dr. Paschalis Grammenoudis.
Thank you for the introduction. Welcome to everyone to my presentation. The title of my presentation is Hydrogen Pipeline Transport, Decarbonizing the Industry at Scale. My name is Paschalis Grammenoudis, and I am from the German Technical and Scientific Association for Gas and Water. In the next 10 minutes, I will speak about our climate targets we have to achieve. We all know that we have global warming and we have to do something in order to stop this. This means that the greenhouse gas emissions have to be reduced and therefore every country, Germany, Europe, all the world, set climate targets. The climate targets can only be achieved through the consistent decarbonization of all sectors. And especially the industry has a key role to play. In the left of this foil, you can see the greenhouse gas emissions by industry. On the one side, you see that the amount of greenhouse gas emissions is very high. We speak about 200 million tons CO2 per year. And you also see that there are a lot of industries which have part on these emissions. There's the chemistry, the steel-making industry, glass, and so on. So this is the main issue we have to deal with, to reduce these emissions. Going into more details, considering emissions, you have to distinguish between energy-related emissions and process-related emissions. Energy-related emissions are about two-thirds of all emissions. Process-related emissions are about one-third. So the main challenge we have is to avoid energy-related emissions, which is based on the use of fossil energy, and on the other side, to reduce as much as possible process-related emissions. In order to achieve this goal, we have a lot of options, but these transformation options for the industry, especially for the industry, they highly depend on the type of the emissions. Here on the right side of the foil, you see a number of possible options, which I will describe in more detail on the next foil. Before going into detail of the options, I will mention that we have not only climate targets. These climate targets get more stringent with the time. We want to accelerate the whole process, and the large number of stakeholders, not only of industry parts, but also of the number of stakeholders, especially in the industry, shows that there must be given a special emphasis on it. The options are a lot, especially if we consider here this list. We have options which are concerned to the energetic emissions, and we have also options which concern the process emissions. The transformations options for energetic emissions are very well known. A typical first step, which was very common in the last year, was the fuel switch, where we replace CO2-intensive energy sources. That means we go from the coal and oil to natural gas. But this step is not enough to reach the greenhouse gas neutrality. We need further attempt, and the next step to follow is, on the one side, to go to the content switch, which means that we increase the CO2 neutral gases like biomethane on the one side, or to go to the molecular switch, which means that we change the gas used, we go to the use of hydrogen. And this is a very important step, which I will underline here. On the other side, we have also the process emissions, as I mentioned before. In order to avoid process emissions, we have to do a lot of effort. This means that we need an adaptation of the process technology. We need technologies which are capable of using climate-neutral energies. That means we need process technologies which can use, instead of coal, oil, or gas, biomethane or hydrogen in the process technology. On the other side, there are also examples where we cannot avoid these CO2 emissions. The cement industry is an example for an industry where CO2 emissions cannot be avoided. Here we need additional technologies like capture of CO2 and the following use or storage of this. A very classical example for the process modification is the steel industry, where they go to the direct reduction with hydrogen. And for the first three options, a typical example is the process heat industry, where we can use biomethane or hydrogen instead of fossil energy. Before going to the next foil, I will also emphasize on this foil that hydrogen is a very good solution. It is feasible and sustainable in many sectors, in many applications, and for many customers. So hydrogen is, in our point of view, a game changer in this point. But in order to make hydrogen a game changer, we need also the infrastructure for it. We need the production of hydrogen and then the transport of the hydrogen to the customers who can use it in their processes. To this end, a lot of work has to be performed in order to reach this target. For this, the gas grid has to be changed to transport hydrogen. To this end, a plan is built up, and I will show you here the two important steps for this plan. The one point is that we have two options to introduce hydrogen in the energy supply. The one method is the complete change of the entire grid from natural gas to hydrogen, from area to area. And the second step is to make an admixture of hydrogen to existing gas grids. These two options are very important in order to reach the full supply of hydrogen. Make emphasis on Germany. We have two parts on the gas grid. We have the transmission grid, which is more than 30,000 kilometers of high pressure networks with also hydrogen feed-in projects. And this transmission network will be extended in the next years from step to step, so that we can cover from north to south whole Germany, and analogous plans exist also for Europe. On the other side, we have also the distribution net, the net which connects all the customers in the whole country. And here we have over 500,000 kilometers of distribution networks. And these are also regional networks. And here we have different phases to go through in order to reach the target, where we have a full supply, not only of hydrogen, but also of synthetic natural gas, of synthetic gas, of biomethane, and all the other possible gases, so that we have climate neutral gases in the supply. But this is not the last attempt we do. We have also to make a further effort, because we have to transform not only the industry, we have not only transformed the gas industry, we have to transform both together, because this is necessary in order to have a future for the industrial locations. And to this end, the DVGW founds the Green Industry Platform. The Green Industry Platform is a multi-sectoral association of companies from the gas industry, from the fields of infrastructure, of plant building, of automotive, and so on, and with industry stakeholders, for example, from the area of steel making, cement industry, automotive, and so on. We also include organizations from science, and all the common they have is that they share this common goal of climate neutrality. The platform is organized into various specific focus groups, because every sector, every industry needs their own focus plan. And all participants use their experience and know-how to jointly implement this goal. The focus groups are mentioned in the bottom of the foil. We have 2 focus groups on work. This is the cement and the automotive focus groups. We are now starting the focus groups of glass, steel, and chemistry, and we plan focus groups on the topics of logistics, green energy, and also of ammonia, which will play a bigger role in the future. And I will invite you to join this platform, Green Industry, and also to put in your experience and know-how in order to support these things. Before finishing my presentation, I want to thank also my co-author, Sophia Hein, for her contribution, and I want also thank you, all of you, for your attention. Thank you very much.
So I know we're all short of time, but perhaps there's a question from the audience. One question we'll be addressing shortly with the electrolyzer pitches is, of course, where's the hydrogen going to come from? Specifically, when are we going to treat hydrogen as a international business model with shipping and so on, because Europe cannot produce enough hydrogen with renewable energies to feed this industrial community. So when is that going to change?
I can answer to this answer with another presentation which goes at least 60 minutes, but the short answer is the hydrogen will come from everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere where hydrogen can be produced, this hydrogen can be transported and can be brought to the customers.
Yeah. We're going to see ships. It's going to be like the oil industry, except for it's going to be clean.
Yes.
That's the future. Thank you very much, Dr. Paschalis Grammenoudis from DVGW. Hope to see you back here next year.
Thank you very much.